Hello everybody and welcome to today's Q&A session. This morning I made a story on Instagram telling you guys you can ask some questions about me, the animals and the entire Hakuna Mipaka family, and thousands of questions came in, which I'm gonna answer right now. Alright, so usually there's always one person, which is Noe. He is part of the pride as well, since he moved with me to South Africa 2 years ago and raised the lions with me and got actually the same access to the lions. That's how he became part of the pride and is able to do all that sick close-up footage with me and the lions. We also have two other content creators, which is Gas and Stevie. Regarding all the other animals, they have easy access, but if it comes to the lions, it's a little bit different because, for example, Dexter and Snow and Leo and so, they are in an age where they will accept people up to a certain level, but not up to a level where you can just walk in by yourself and just sit down and hang out with the lions. So becoming part of the pride, no matter how good you are with animals, is now too late actually. But being able to be accepted, which also takes quite a lot of work, is still possible, and we are busy in the process with that, so that the lions are actually cool with them being in the environment and not being, you know, kind of dangerous, that they get attacked or aggressively approached or something like that. I was working in the finance industry, so I had my own finance business where we did, how do you call that in English? Financial consulting. At the peak I had around 45 employees. I made some quite good money there, achieved most of the goals I was having or I dreamed about, and realized since they were all material goals, once I achieved them, it was not enough, or it wasn't really satisfying. Which was then ultimately also the reason for me to start following my true passion. So first of all, it's important to know that the Hakuna Mipaka oasis is closed to the public. It's not open to the public. We don't have any tourism. We are a private sanctuary, no guest lodges, no opportunities to make a trip to the Hakuna Mipaka oasis out of protection towards the animals. This has to be now and in the future all about the animals and not about humans. As soon as you allow tourism, often the whole thing turns, in my opinion, and ends up being about the people and the service and not about the actual welfare of the animal anymore. This is why we also don't have a volunteer program anymore. And of course we do have every now and then jobs again, like proper jobs in the maintenance of the oasis and in this mission, but first of all, I try to cover these positions with local people. There is a lot of hardworking South African people which are educated, which work hard to become something and somebody, to become successful and do something out of their lives. And I believe since I moved here to South Africa and built up this project on South African ground, I first want to cover these positions with local people, with local community, give them an opportunity to do something out of this. And then once we don't find people or it doesn't work in certain positions here, we also reach out to people from all over the world, where every now and then somebody also from overseas will get the opportunity to join the mission and become part of the Hakuna Mipaka family. Okay, so that's a funny question. Basically, it's like asking a parent, how do you tell your twins apart? Since I live with them, I can tell them apart even without looking at them. I mean, it's only the pitch of their sounds or the way they make certain sounds and they get vocal. I can tell immediately if it's Momo or JJ. But now if we go to the visual things, like physically, you can actually see that JJ has a way more round head and face, while Momo's face is a little bit more arrow, I believe. And yeah, of course you can see it in the movements as well. It's like when you look at a human, how he walks. If you live with your family in a house where you can hear the steps, most of the time before somebody enters your room, you'll be able to say, oh, this is my mom, or this is my sister, or that's how my dad walks, right? The same is with the monkeys as well. When they move, when they jump, I can see it straight away. Another good point actually is the fur. At the back, JJ is quite grayish and brownish, while Momo has a lot of blonde tips at the end of his fur on the hair. So that's something how you guys could recognize as well who is who. And yeah, there's not a lot of like, I mean, to be honest, to be fair, they look very similar, and if you don't know them for a long time, they appear to be exactly the same, but they're definitely not. There is a lot of differences between Momo and JJ. That's a fair question, because most of the people, they feed their pets once or twice a day. So why do I feed the lions only once a week? Or maximum twice a week? So the reason is, first of all, they're not my pets. And second, I try to keep everything as natural and as wild as possible. Now, since lions, they eat maybe once or twice a week in the wild, because they do hunt bigger prey animals, maybe one or two, it depends on the size of the pride, and then they feed off that animal for about 2 days. They stay around that animal because they won't finish it within a few hours. It depends on how big the animal is though. And then they digest it for another 1 or 2 days, because you can see even the Dexter and the Pride, after they ate, like they have full bellies, they all look like pregnant, and it takes a while to digest all of that and get rid of it and, you know, use that energy. And once this happened, they're ready for the next meal again. And this is how they do it in the wild, and this is how I do it here on the Oasis. Well, I believe I would definitely be able to read their body language, but I don't know if this would help me to survive. Because if I'm on my feet somewhere in the wild, encountering a wild lion, then the chances of me being able to escape or survive is very, very slim. Because imagine if this lion would have met another lion, right? What would he do? They would not just speak in lion language and become best friends. Most of the time they are enemies, because everybody has its own pride. Depends on if it's a male or a female, but it will definitely be very dramatic, and my chances of survival would be slim, even though I will be able to read their body language. Well, since I'm not into animal trading or animal breeding, the plan was, or still is, not to breed them, because there's no use for it. There's so many lions in captivity already, and I actually didn't want to put more lions into captivity. The first one to be able to get pregnant will be Nyla, so we are talking about it or discussing to, how do you call it, to castrate her anytime soon now. But I'm really thinking of when I dedicate the entire back of the farm to those 6 lions, if I would not just maybe allow Chiara or Khaleesi to have her own cubs, to extend that family to a certain level and then castrate her. But I'm still thinking about that. I mean, the lions will anyway stay here for a lifetime. They won't go nowhere. There's enough space. A lion pride, you know, in general, they get up to 10 or 15 lions easily. And yeah, it's something I consider. I'm still thinking about, but I think since Nyla will soon be ready to mate, and I'm not ready with my decision yet, I will definitely castrate Nyla and give myself a little bit more time to think about that with Chiara and Khaleesi.
I'm Joe Exotic. I am now stepping my foot in the ring to run for president.
Yes, I've seen it as soon as it came out on Netflix, of course. It was super interesting. Well, while I was watching, it was super crazy, very entertaining, of course. Crazy how much footage they could get together during that long period of time. But I couldn't really see the mission. I mean, I don't see any similarities between me or my mission and him. So yeah, and I don't really want to, you know, enter that circle there. I've done from the beginning on, when I started with my mission till now, I've done everything by myself. I've stuck to my mission all the time. I'm not collaborating with any other big cats guys or people or animal people. Not because I don't want to, but it's more because I have such a clear vision and such a clear mission, and I don't want to mix that up with anything else. So yeah, this is why I stay here, I do my thing, and if they got fights going on there or different opinions, that's cool, but I'd rather take care of my business, and yeah, that's what it is. I'm 27, born 1992, 3rd of October. Thank you for your present when my birthday comes. Most of the food for the lions comes from the Hakuna Mipaka oasis itself. Keep in mind we have tons of wild living animals here. Herds of zebras and wildebeests and kudus, nyalas, water bugs, giraffes, all kinds of animals. We also do have predators here like leopards, brown hyenas, big snakes, also small snakes, venomous snakes. So the animals, they come from here. Most of the time when we spot, for example, just lately we spotted, a few days ago, we spotted a zebra with a lot of kind of bite marks at its neck. So that was a male which lost a fight with another male who was more dominant. They often fight over herds of females. Same happens with wildebeests and so, which get hurt very, very badly, and then we shoot those ones and feed them to the lions. Or it happens that one maybe jumps into the dry river when it's dry season and then breaks a leg and struggles to walk around or to, you know, keep up with the herd. So you find them somewhere alone, almost sitting there dying. So these are all the animals which naturally would most probably be the first prey animals for lions, since lions are opportunistic hunters. And this is how we take them down then and feed them to the lions. Now the next question will be, why don't you let the lions catch them themselves? Because it's not allowed yet. The space and area where the lions live in now is between 25 and roughly 30,000 square meters. It's a big camp. It's beautiful and nice, but it's not big enough to just put animals in there and it will be a fair, balanced situation where a predator can hunt its prey. So to be able to release them in the area where they can hunt by themselves and where it is permitted to hunt by themselves, I first have to fence up the back of the farm, and then I won't have to shoot the animals anymore for them, but I can just let them out there and they can have a fair battle out there in the wild. Oh wow. One extinct animal. Well, there is a lot of extinct animals, but one which is definitely super attractive to me is the saber-toothed tiger. Like, he's like just massive, and it's like, oh, it's just a cool animal. But another one definitely always being in my head and my mind is the, I don't know how you call it in English, but I think megalodon. Yeah, it's just a giant, huge version of a great white shark. Stevie and Gas, I met them in Australia. It was pretty crazy because the plan for Australia was completely different. They're supposed to network to jump on board, finance that trip, help us making a difference down there, making a mini-series. But the last day when I was already there with Noe, and actually the day before we started the actual mission, everybody jumped off, or just the contracts couldn't be signed. So it was me alone with my manager and Noe down there, trying to make a difference and do something with no financial support, with no production team or content creators, with no logistics, nobody who can take care of the logistics. So this is how I made a story. And Gas and Stevie, they jumped up and said, hey, listen, we just done with our previous job. We are very happy to come on board for free, voluntary, accompany you, film everything and help you with that mission. And after the first few days, I realized, man, these guys are dedicated, passionate about filming. They have a heart for animals, and they could, you know, relate to my mission immediately. Like they met me after a few hours of talking with one another. They got what the mission is about, and they really could relate to it. Which was the reason why I asked them after a few days, listen guys, if you want to, I'm busy building up a new YouTube channel. I anyway need to extend my content creator team because it's only me and Noe. Why don't you guys want to join? If you have time, if you're willing to. I can't pay you a lot at this stage because I don't have a lot of money. But if you want to be part of the mission, you're welcome to come. It didn't took them 5 minutes to answer, and they said, I remember we were in the car there driving towards a place which was on fire during the devastating fires in Australia. and they said, listen, if you confirm that we can come, next week we'll jump on a flight and join the mission and come to the Hakuna Mipaka oasis. This is what happens, and so we extended our Hakuna Mipaka family. They have been here though for 2.5 months now. Unfortunately have to travel back to Australia because of the coronavirus situation. They close up the borders. You never know what happens, you know. They still got some family there, and so yeah, they'll be back as soon as that whole corona thing will calm down a little bit, and then we'll continue with the most exciting content. Well, keep in mind, they are still all youngsters, so they are not adults yet. You get a lot of 18, 19, 20, 22. I'm 27 and I don't have a proper beard yet, you know? So it's same as with humans. Some of us get a proper beard earlier and some of us later. And some of us, they will struggle all their life long to get a proper beard. And the same is with lions. Snow and Leo, they are only 1.5 years old. That's where they actually start to grow their mane, compared to Dexter, which started growing his mane already before he even reached 1 year. So he got his mane very early already, while the other ones are just in time now to start to grow their mane. Give them another half a year or 1 year and you'll see a proper thick mane around their neck.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see what's next, then make sure to subscribe my YouTube channel right now. And if you want to see more content, you're so welcome to follow my other socials as well. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys later.